Conversation is California Congressman Raul Ruiz, who is also an emergency physician. Congressman, it's always a pleasure to see you. I thank you for your time. So I want to focus in on, and this whole ransomware thing is just fascinating, right? I mean, the fact that they got these servers in your home state.
Yeah, that's very important. In fact, there's been some hospitals in my district who have been threatened in the past. So I appreciate the Biden administration, the Department of Justice for this incredible victory, for this incredible news, and our country and our residents are much safer than it was before because of it.
So, Congressman, I want to talk to you about some other of the issues that really are making headlines today. The Biden administration is touting a Title 42 policy that kind of changed the numbers as far as Haitians, Cubans, Nicaraguans, and Venezuelans. They say that about 97% has been a cutback of the people from those countries being interdicted at the border. You were at the border just last week to meet with Customs and Border Protection and local officials. What did you take away from that visit?
Well, first of all, the men and women who serve on our border to make sure that there's an orderly, professional, humane processing of goods and people do incredible work day in and day out. So I applaud them, and I first and foremost. But let's be clear, Jose, that the Biden administration moved to end Title 42. They are going to end Title 42. The Congressional Hispanic Caucus and so many have urged the Biden administration to end Title 42, and they have ended Title 42. However, the Supreme Court and the court system have forced them to continue to implement Title 42. Unfortunately, that's the law of the land. They're building on other legal pathways for asylum seekers to come into the United States in order to protect them from the predatory coyotes, cartels, and those who want to harm women, children, LGBTQ individuals who are seeking asylum into our country through this new process.
But Congressman, are they ending Title 42 by expanding Title 42 until the courts decide whether they can end it?
Title 42 is unfortunately the law of the land as determined by the courts. As soon as the courts rule that the Biden administration can indeed terminate Title 42, I have confidence that the Biden administration will end Title 42. They are not fans of Title 42, as I am not a fan of Title 42. So because those countries refuse to accept the individuals from Haiti, Cuba, Nicaragua into those countries, in order to implement the current Title 42, they had to create permits within the country of Mexico for them to implement the law of the land. And so that is where we are. The Biden administration is between a rock and a hard place. But here's how I view this process. One, and I told the Secretary Mayorkas and the administration this, these are the criteria that are absolutely necessary. One is that it's a professional system. Two, that it's humane and fair. Three, that it keeps the asylum seekers safe wherever they are, because they are preyed upon by people who want to harm them. They're vulnerable individuals. And four, that it maintains their due process, that we do not remove their due process, the American right for asylum seekers to seek due process in our country for legitimate reasons. And so they're creating this program that will help asylum seekers go online in order to help them create this professional, orderly, humane, and safe systems for them, so they're not reliant on predators, coyotes, and cartels to bring them over and prey upon them and abuse them.
Yeah, and Congressman, and I always appreciate your time. Just your thoughts, on just this week, and where we saw two massacres in your beautiful home state. Just how do you process that, Congressman?
Well, first, we mourn and we pray and we reflect. We cannot let these massacres be the norm for our country. We cannot become numb to the tragedy and the humanity of this situation. So I mourn with the family. As a physician and public health expert, I know that we must take a public health approach, which is to lower the risks and the incidences of people who are at risk of harming others to get their hands on weapons to kill people.
Congressman Raul Ruiz, always a pleasure to see you. I thank you very much for being with us this morning. As a matter of fact, up next, we're going to go live to Monterey Park, California, where the